I'm Addie.
And I'm Brittany. We are the moms behind Pluie.
We are seeking $500,000 for 5% of our company.
Sharks, as moms, we love to take our kids out of the world with us. But having little ones in diapers presents a decades-old problem. Public diaper changing tables are disgusting.
A few years ago, my son had the dreaded diaper blowout. And there was no place to change his diaper but on this rock-hard plastic, just gross changing table.
So gross.
And there was no place to put my diaper bag but on the dirty restroom floor.
Not the floor.
So I had to keep bending down to get the diapers and then the wipes and then the change of clothes, but there was nowhere to put them on the surface, and the safety strap was broken and my purse kept falling off my shoulder. I dropped my pacifier and all I kept thinking was, how could I put my precious cargo down on something so filthy?
It's so dirty.
I know. Who knows what germs were festering? When was it last sanitized? Forget this. I said out loud, I can make a better one. Introducing Pluie, the world's first and only self-sanitizing diaper changing table for public restrooms.
Fancy.
Every time you close the table, Pluie's patented UVC light system gets to work to protect babies. Pluie's UVC light sanitizes the entire surface, eliminating 99.9% of harmful bacteria and viruses, all within 60 seconds.
Pluie's multi-purpose handles keep your diaper bag off the restroom floor and your hands free to change your child. Or catch that rogue pacifier
before it hits the ground.
So, Sharks, who's ready to reimagine the public diaper changing experience and protect our most vulnerable?
Join us, and together we can change the table.
All right, we can, there's a big old rant I have here to go along with this. Put changing tables in men's bathrooms too. Please, for the love of dads everywhere that want to be helpful and want to make sure that they're, involved in the diaper changing process, because there are so many times. I think Ashton Kutcher, championed this a while back. Look, I love the idea of it getting cleaned. I love the fact that there's hooks on it, but this also doesn't really solve the real problem that if the company doesn't do their job of maintaining their facilities, which, how many bathrooms have you been in that have been disgusting? I know I've been in my fair share of bathrooms that are like, holy cow, I am not, I need a shower after going into this restroom. So I like the idea. For the companies that care, I think it's a great idea. But for the companies that care, I feel like they might be doing a job of upkeeping their changing table equipment, making sure it's not ripped off the wall, because I've gone to plenty of bathrooms where that's a case, and keeping the bathrooms clean. So I don't know. I think there's a place for it, but I don't know. The price, I'm sure, is not cheap. And at $500,000 for 5%, I think it's going to be an uphill battle to get a deal with the Sharks. I mean, anytime you get over $300,000, it's a tough time to get a deal with the Sharks in general, especially when we're talking about 5%. So I'm hopeful, but I don't know. I mean, the odds of all this stuff being broken and how much it costs to fix, if the price isn't at least somewhat comparable to what a normal changing table would cost, I could totally see where it starts to kind of fall apart. Sure, is there high-end places that's give that peace of mind? Sure, absolutely. But I think by and large, I'd just be happy to get a changing table in the men's bathroom in general here. In most bathrooms should adopt that. So. Yeah. All right. Let's get back. Before we get there, we're going to check out their website, Addie and Brittany's website at the end, as well as feature one of your comments from the super community from down below in the comments at the end.
This is a business-to-business play.
Yes.
Correct.
And actual airport authorities, I bet you the sales cycle's forever.
That's a great question. So we do have our first airport. Speaking of airports, it's DFW. So if you're
Cool.
flying home,
Hey,
check
cool.
it out, Terminal C. We are currently in 11 large national accounts. This includes CVS, Equinox, Old Navy, Topgolf, Costco, Simon Property Group, Westfield, Jamestown, Graduate Hotel Group, Legoland Peppa Pig Theme Park, of course our airport, and then some stadiums. We have over 115 locations, so averaging 2 to 3 tables.
I was just at that DFW. I don't recall if I saw it in the bathroom. I think I was at Terminal C. Might have been Terminal D, though. I'm not Not 100% sure.
But what's your total out there? How many have you sold?
So about 300.
About 300.
So you're only at 3, and this is not really this is not a problem. You're piloting it.
Correct.
And what do you sell them for?
$26.99.
$2,699.
$699.
So what does this cost you to make?
The cost for the UV version is $1,312, $1,312.
Wow.
So if I have 1,000 stores, okay, and I want to retrofit this device over the old plastic one that did not require an electrical outlet, okay, this does.
Oh, that's a great point,
So when
too.
I have to put this in, I need to do an installation of infrastructure. I have to make sure that it's compliant with the electrical code in that state, that location, because those tubes require voltage, and the other one doesn't. And I'm going to look at that in addition to your $26.99 cost. This rollout is going to be really challenging.
Really, electrical has not been an issue. Price really hasn't been a barrier.
I could see electrical definitely being an obstacle, but the people that they're selling to are not mom and pop shops. They're going to like the big chains, which makes a lot of sense. I think that, you know, for them, it's not a big deal for them to get that, you know, get an electrician out and have it installed. I mean, you have hand towel or hand dryers, right? So it's not like it's an impossible thing to have to accomplish. I'm curious as to the resilience of the product, and I also think that they're, you know, it's a business to business model. They have a 100% markup, which is good, especially because it's a business to business model and they're going after chains. But they got to get their costs down. I think if they ever want to have any realistic, like getting this into every place, everywhere, not just, you know, higher or big chain places. You're gonna have to do put some marketing behind that. And again, the durability of the tubes and the unit itself is, I think, what's most questionable. Like, I'd like to see one of the sharks go up and like basically sit on it. You know, how much weight can this thing hold? You know, that's the kind of, you know, how much pressure can we put on it? Because people are lean on them. People do all kinds of dumb things.
How many minutes does it have to stay closed to sanitize 99.9%?
60 seconds.
Oh, my
Just
Wow,
60?
that's it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. What is your backgrounds? How do you know each other?
So I spent 15 years in product development, from commercial fitness equipment to fishing boats and now diaper changing tables. I was the first female president of a fishing boat business, an $80 million fishing boat
You were
business.
president of the company.
Yeah,
Excellent.
but I was introduced to Addie through a former colleague of mine, and she said, Brittany, as a new mom, you're changing a lot of diapers in public restrooms. My friend has this great idea.
You could say I took a bit of a non-traditional career path. I was a physics major when I dropped out of college to attend culinary school. And I had some very non-glamorous jobs in restaurants, including Michelin-starred restaurant, which landed me, after a lot of hustle, training under Daniel Boulud in New York. I then
So you
moved.
became a chef?
I became a chef. I worked for Thomas Keller for many years, and then I left fine dining to work for Martha Stewart, which was a dream job. And while working for her in my late 20s, I went back to college and got my bachelor's degree from NYU with a full ride. And then I had my son. I became incredibly interested in the public diaper changing experience. I then filed my utility patent in 2019. I raised my first round of funding through friends and family while on maternity leave with my daughter. So I had another baby throughout this.
What was the valuation and how much did you raise?
I raised $650,000 in about 6 weeks on maternity leave, and the valuation was a $4 million cap on a convertible note.
Is that all you
Is that
raised?
it?
No, that was in 2019-20, and then 2021, we raised $1 million, another convertible note at an $8 million valuation.
8 mil.
And then just recently, we raised our first priced round, so we just raised $2 million in May at a $20 million valuation.
Oh, you might as well just keep on raising.
All of this money raised has been through individuals. It's all been people we've met through our personal and professional networks.
So you guys raised about 3.6 million from family and friends at about a $20 million valuation. You're in front of us with a $10 million valuation. Why?
We're really looking for someone or some people who are more strategic and help us really accelerate our growth. And we believe
And
we're
they're okay with taking a 50% cut.
correct.
Let's get to the nuts and bolts.
Well, that's awfully nice of them. And I think that goes a long way with the Sharks. But how much money do you still have in the bank? Have you burned through all of that money, or are you have a bunch in the bank? Hopefully, you got some in the bank, because it's gonna get pretty not great in a second here.
Then how much cash do you have in the bank?
We have about 1.4 million.
Okay, so you're not cash constrained then. How many orders do you have that are waiting to be delivered?
About 550,000 revenue.
And so
In
that's
revenue.
250 units,
250,
basically?
yes.
What have you actually sold this year,
We
Brittany?
have 150,000 in revenue booked
Total.
total.
How much cash will you lose this year?
We'll lose about 500,000.
Oh,
What did you lose last year?
We lost about $1 million.
About $1 million.
Okay, this is a difficult deal. Your valuation, guys, at $10 million, I don't care what people paid for it. You're not worth $10 million. You're miles from it. You're basically pre-revenue. You're a prototype at this point. And I wish you the best, but I'm out.
Well, that's a shame. I think I think, like I said earlier, I think you got to get your costs down. 13.12 when your cost is too high, when you're only doubling it and getting to $26.99. Because does that include shipping? Is that landed to the customer at $26.99? Because the other thing is a changing table. In theory, you should only have to buy it like once. But with the UV light, how are they getting recurring revenue on the UV light on replacement bulbs? Because that could play a significant role in revenue if they have to replace bulbs like every 2 or 3 years. I feel like if they could get their costs down to around, I want to say close to 800, between $600 and $800, and they still sell it to $26.99, or if they could get that price up to like 3,000 or so, now you're gonna have to be able to recoup that money at the profit margin that they're at. They really shouldn't be losing money unless the $26.99 includes a shipping. But the other thing is these companies only need in theory, I would love for it, two per location, maybe a third one if you put it in a family bathroom as well. So maybe 3 per location, and if you got to capitalize on these giant companies that have just a ton of locations. But even then, you're going to run out of locations, right? When you set up a company that has like a limited, look, we all say riches in the niches, right? But sometimes your niche can be so narrow that it's actually possible to saturate the market. I think they said the word patent, but I didn't write the word patent down in my handy dandy notebook here. Hopefully there's some kind of patent there, because otherwise why not whoever makes the plastic ones, rip it off. They just put their own UV light in there. Yeah, the durability. I keep coming back to the durability thing. But as far as their revenue, they're still early, even though it's been a couple of years to get to the point where they're at, which is still amazing. Great backgrounds, doing all Addie, Brittany, stellar backgrounds on both of you, and you're doing really well. I think that the numbers you got to get the numbers adjusted there, and I'm really curious as to where the $26.99 landing price came about, because that's just not gonna be enough, and you're gonna eventually saturate the market. Everyone who wants one is going to buy one, so you got to get that cost down, got to get the price up.
I think both of you are clearly operators. But I think the bigger challenge is it's not going to stop me or make me go to some location due to this. If I'm forced to be in that situation where the child has to be changed, the child has to be changed. Where it seems like we may be going in this next 2 to 3 years, I think retailers are going to be taking a risk at how much they lay out, not knowing if we're going to go into a deep recession, a light recession. I think they're going to cut back on things like this. I just don't think it's going to be able to scale at this point, so I'm out.
The problem is parents have been leaving a business to go change their children in the car, leaving a business to go at home, and then they're ordering off Amazon.
Look, I agree with all of those things, but the consumer is not the one buying it. You've invented a beautiful product, but it's 5-6 times the cost of something large companies have to do. They have to put in a changing table. They don't have to put on this. But at a 10 million valuation, I don't share the same level of certainty as you do. I'm out.
Yeah, I don't totally agree that yes, the customer is the business, but you're trying to sell on the experience, how much happier they'll be to be there, right? And I think that you take that $26.99 and however much it costs to install, and you actually put a marketing campaign around it, right? You sell it as a differentiator of your business, right? Of the Targets of the world, of the I guess more specifically the businesses that have that family oriented customer base that is coming in. Like, I think that having that and being able to like do a marketing blitz around it can make it like, nobody's talking about changing tables, right? Let's talk about changing tables. This is, I think that is an opportunity that you take the amount of money that you've done and then you just convert it into a marketing blitz that you can, start to, plus it's a write-off, right? So yeah, if it's 5 to 6 times what the cost of a just hard plastic one is, I think the other thing is the hard plastic one, I mean, if they just integrated a hook, would that be enough? I mean, I know every time we've ever changed our kids, we had a changing pad. So you don't just put the kid on the plastic, you put the pad down and put the kid on there. And sometimes even would like wipe it down before, using it and after if it, we made a mess at all. So yeah. I don't.
Do you share a level of certainty at a lower valuation?
Well, how much lower?
Do you share a level of certainty at a lower valuation?
Well, how much lower? Because you're giving your investors a haircut, and the question becomes, what is it specifically that you're missing?
Yeah, specifically what we came here for is, again, we know how to market this. We know how to sell it. We want to do it faster. And we truly believe with a partner like one of you, we can.
So there's something that I can't get my arms around that's slowing you down. This is obvious in what it does the first time you walk into the restroom and somebody uses it. Why aren't they ordering and installing more?
It's because they don't have to. They already have a solution.
We've been talking a lot about large national accounts. I mean, there are 4 million public restrooms
But
in the United
that's
States.
where this falls apart, because the person that wants it, the consumer that you talked about so much, is not the person that buys it. Mark, what are you going to do?
Yeah, guys, it doesn't all add up. I'm sorry, I'm out.
Listen, as a woman in business, I admire your grit. I think you are both so smart, so hardworking, so accomplished. I love the idea and the concept. I think it's brilliant. I think the real problem is it's pricey. Right now, I see it as premium. I have a high-end restaurant, I'm gonna put that in instead. If I have a high-end store, I'll put that in. But if I'm, every day where customers are coming in anyway, I might not, because it's a huge expense. I think that there's a concern for me about what's going to happen as far as really going widespread at too high a price point. So I will cheer for you, but unfortunately on this one, I'm out.
Thank you so much, Lori.
Give us 6 more months.
Yeah, we're cheering for you.
cheering
It's
for
a
you,
much
sure.
better solution.
Thank you so
Congrats,
much.
guys.
Good luck, you
Congrats.
guys. It's
Thank
very
you.
smart.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
I think ultimately we're still pretty early on. They would have wanted to see further growth and purchasing from our large national accounts. I think the stage we're at, they just weren't so sure if it was going to grow as quickly as they wanted it to. And we're here to prove them it will.
So that's why you gotta have a higher price point, because there is only so many high-end restaurants, high-end stores that are going to buy into it. And when you combine, when you look at it like that, it's like, okay, we got to get more margin from those people that are willing to make that purchase, right? So I pulled up their website. And now it's down. Oh no, that is unfortunate. So the shop was down earlier, so I opened it up separately to be able to see to show it off. But yeah, the site apparently got taken down. But we can go check out their Twitter. So it's got 19 followers currently. Hey, look, there's Robert touching. So that's what I was talking about. Put some weight on there. See what's up with it. Over on Instagram, we got 1,100 followers, which is pretty cool. We got some engagement. I almost said reaction. Engagement there. 7 subscribers over on YouTube, and we got TikTok, 21 followers over there. I mean, it doesn't really require like a social media presence until you're ready to try to make it for people who are going to buy small mom and pop shops. Then you're trying to get like the smaller businesses, not the big fish out there. But Addie, Brittany, I'd love to have you on the show. Just drop a comment down below and we'll make that happen for an interview. Like Facts Over Fear, great video, brother. I appreciate you. Facts Over Fear, I agree. Facts always over fear. Do not lead by fear, lead with love. And I'll see you in one of these 2 videos over here. Take care and go be super.